Invite a Budget Blinds style consultant to show you how to transform your rooms just by changing your window coverings. Canada's #1 choice for window coverings. Visit budgetblinds.ca today.
Well, back here at home, as we first told you last month, Lloydminster City Council has made a decision when it comes to the future of prayer at meetings. This comes as some municipalities across the country are revisiting the issue following a Supreme Court of Canada ruling saying a small Quebec city could no longer say a prayer at their meetings. Bart Pediasic has more on the verdict from City Hall.
The temporary moment of silence Council put in place while they debated the issue, well, it looks like that's here to stay. This as Council agreed to amend the bylaw, removing all prayer from future meetings and replacing it with that moment of silence. Now, not only is it a way to stay non-denominational, but one councillor says it's also a way to cover them legally.
That was my reading on of the Supreme Court of Canada decision. If one continues to pray in council, in the face of that decision, you expose yourself to risk.
It was agreed to in principle back in December, but we're finally getting a look at the proposal for the new Russ Robertson renovations. Now, the renovations come as the city accepted a tender to a local company for more than $1.3 million.
In my opinion, they've been needed for a long time, basically because of the size of the dressing rooms. We're just for all ages. We've been, there's just not enough room.
We'll have more on those stories tomorrow. Reporting from City Council, Bart Pediasic, Newcap News.
For the fourth time, the World Trade Organization has ruled in favor of Canada over the United States in the country of origin labeling war. Canada is getting set to levy tariffs on U.S. goods if the Americans fail to repeal the contentious laws. But as Gerard Lampow reports, one area producer is concerned about a fallout.
Makes me a little nervous to hear we're fighting tough with them when our market is so good.
Since late 2008, the battle to get Canadian cattle and hogs across the U.S. border has cost producers more than $1 billion per year. With the World Trade Organization ruling in Canada's favor, the country is ready to place tariffs on some 38 U.S. products, including beef, pork, and wine.
The clock is ticking. The process at the WTO, as you rightly point out, will give us the opportunity to retaliate on probably the first half dozen to 10 somewhere late summer, early fall.
These one-year-old stairs behind me have doubled in value in the last 3 years. The question remains, with cool on the horizon, do we want to retaliate against the Americans now?
At the point we're at right now, our market's high, and like you say, it's getting just about unaffordable to eat beef for some people at the marketplace. So at this point, I don't understand us going and fighting a real tough trade battle with them and getting our borders closed again, because we need an open border to survive.
Ritz says Canada relies on U.S. processing capacity for about 70% of the country's beef and pork.
Problem isn't that we shouldn't be nice to the Americans all the time and take the leftovers they give us. Our problem is we should be equal partners in addressing that marketplace. So, I would take exception to what a couple of ranchers say. Certainly we'll listen to them, but at the end of the day, it's no time to blink.
Mann says the Americans need Canadian beef, but he remains cautious.
I don't think label Americans with one big paint strip, but their packing plants need our cattle. They'd love to see the country of origin go away. It's a headache for them and a huge cost for them.
If Canada has to drop the hammer, retaliatory tariffs could total between $2.5 to $3 billion.
We're hopeful that we won't have to use this at all, but it's a hammer we're not afraid to use.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, it's Emergency Services Week in Saskatchewan. Over the next 7 days, there will be events happening in the border city to help bring awareness to the community.
Most calls that we respond to are pretty serious, and we're there and we're out to the hospital within seconds. So this gives us more time to interact with the public, kind of show them a little bit of the inner workings of our system, and just help them to understand a little bit of what we do and the stresses and pressures that we have to go through.
Now, sometimes the jobs these workers do for the public sometimes gets taken for granted.
I'm really thankful that we have that kind of service, that, it's just a phone call away, that you can have someone who's trained to take care of yourself and your kids, and to be thankful to them as people that they have their own lives and, they're doing a service that they're not getting paid, big bucks for.
There will be blood pressure clinics, a barbecue Friday at Safeway, and a mock accident Saturday in the Walmart parking lot. Meanwhile, local EMTs are giving us a rare glimpse into a situation where they raced to save the life of an area 4-year-old girl. Now, this particular incident happened in February, and we also got the chance to hear from the courageous young girl about the harrowing ordeal.
To start off EMS week, we're going to do what's called a share a save. What we decided to use this year was a call that we had down the 303. It was a 4-year-old girl that accidentally dispensed hot coffee all down the front of her. She must have reached up, dispensed the coffee dispenser, and she acquired about 8 to 10% of her body in first and second degree burns.
As the coffee got on her, I got her clothes off and took her to the bathroom and started putting cool water on her. The other one I also stripped down because I didn't know for sure who had burns and who didn't, and it was only Lilu. At that point I phoned my parents saying, I need you to start coming because they live 45 minutes away and I have other children, so I knew I would need somebody to be there with them because I was pretty sure she'd need to go in, but I didn't know. And I called in to the ambulance and they said, for sure, we're sending someone out. No worries, they'll be there right away. They were very helpful on the phone, didn't make me feel bad as a parent for calling or anything. And yeah, they got there quite quickly and they were very nice right from the beginning, very calm.
It was easy enough for us to go pick her up, put her in the ambulance, make her as comfortable as possible. She was in quite a bit of pain, so we gave her what's called Entonox or laughing gas and basically knocked her right out. She loved it. So it was a pretty easy ride to the hospital, and they were able to take care of her from there.
This bed, I know it right.
That's right. You were sitting on that bed.
Mm-hmm. It was the bed with the shelf.
With the shelf? Do you kind of remember in there?
Mm-hmm.
Where was Mommy sitting? Do you remember?
Right on the bed.
Right beside you?
Oh. You did so good on that call.
The political landscape in Alberta has been a hot topic over the last few weeks. Around this time, 25 years ago, politics were on many minds as Jean Chrétien made a campaign stop in North Battleford. As Annika Nave tells us in this week's retrospect, he was facing many allegations, including the buying of votes.
Jean Chrétien made a stop in North Battleford on Thursday afternoon. He was there to do some quick campaigning. He took the opportunity to do some Mulrooney bashing.
You know, it's so easy to make jokes about Mulroney, so you don't know where to start. But it's the first time that his interest rates are higher in Canada than the popularity of the government.
Chrétien spoke on most of the current issues, including Meech Lake, tax reform, and Canadian unity.
For me, the Canada that I believe in, it is possible to be a Francophone and to be at home in Saskatchewan, and to be an Anglophone and to be at home in Quebec. That is the Canada that I believe in.
People came out to meet the man who may be Prime Minister, and they were pleased with what they saw. Meanwhile, in Calgary this week, the story was a little different. Chrétien swept all 12 delegates, and some longtime Liberals are accusing him of buying votes. Many voters that showed up at the meeting found their names have mysteriously disappeared from the list. Some Paul Martin supporters say the Chrétien campaign is responsible. The Martin supporters also claim the Chrétien campaign is planning on bussing in voters from the Sarcee Indian Reserve next week.
Yes, I would say they are dirty tricks. I mean, they have sold memberships to the Sarcee Indians. They have put on their bulletin board when the meeting will be, when the buses will be leaving after the meeting is over, that they will be entertained at a dinner and dance. Free of charge.
Allegations have been completely denied by the Chrétien campaign, though.
It's tough to admit to yourself that perhaps you were wrong and the other side really does have the best candidate, the most popular candidate, and I think some of their complaints and their whining of the last couple of weeks are a result of their frustration, not a result of anything that we've done.
So contrary to what happened in North Battleford, many longtime Liberals are saying the leadership candidate is not playing fair. Chrétien told North Battleford he will visit when he's Prime Minister, and many Calgary Liberals say he may become Prime Minister, but he won't have many followers.
Well, that's all for Retrospect this week. I'm Annika Notbate.